Your signature coaching program, if done right, and we're gonna dig into this, really can become the bedrock of your business. What do I put in my signature coaching program? How do I structure my coaching program, et cetera, et cetera. I'm gonna talk about a lot of the mistakes that I see when it comes to creating your signature coaching program so that hopefully you don't make that. Let's get into it. Hey, CourtneyLSanders here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, I'm a full-time online life and business coach as well as wife and mom. I wear all the hats and I do all the things. And a part of doing all the things is helping you create a signature coaching program. In fact, I have quite a few videos on this channel all about how to create a signature coaching program, but I haven't talked about the mistakes that I find that a lot of people are making. And this is really, really important because your signature coaching program, if done right, and we're gonna dig into this, really can become the bedrock of your business. So if you're one of the people who have left comments on my channel, because as I create this content, I do look at, frequently asked questions. I look at a lot of the comments and I see a lot of the questions that people are asking. And I've gotten a lot of questions around like, what do I put in my signature coaching program? How do I structure my coaching program, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm gonna talk about a lot of the mistakes that I see when it comes to creating your signature coaching program so that hopefully you don't make that. So with that, let's get into it. Okay, the first mistake that I find people make when it comes to creating a signature coaching program is that they don't understand where the signature coaching program fits in their business. Initially, they start with, okay, what is this topic that I should be coaching on? Like, what can I teach a client? What's a program that I can create and ultimately sell? Understand though, those questions are gonna be predicated on where this signature coaching program fits in your business. And when I say where it fits in your business, I mean, how is it going to be supporting your business from a revenue standpoint? This signature coaching program that you're working on, and you can have more than one, is this going to be the bedrock of your business? Is this going to be kind of like an extra thing that after clients have already gone through another coaching program that, this is something that they get into afterwards? Is this going to be more of an entry-level thing where people come in, but there's something else more substantial that they need to get a part of? Again, you have to understand the signature coaching program that you're endeavoring to make. The first thing is, where does it fit in your business? Where does it fit in your product suite? That's important because what goes in it, the price point that you should charge for it, all of those things are going to be based on where it is. So if you didn't even know that you could have a product suite, yes, you should have a product suite. In fact, I talk about this in detail inside of my program, the Next Big Name Bootcamp, but I give you a little taste inside of my free challenge, the Nail Your Niche Challenge. So if you're looking to nail your niche, or even if you think you know your niche, but you're not quite sure, and it's been, you've been struggling to really create your signature coaching program around that, then I actually invite you to sign up for the next upcoming Nail Your Niche. I do them live, it's 5 days. You can click the link below in order to learn more about that. But the first mistake I see when it comes to creating your signature coaching program is not knowing where it fits in your business. All right, the second mistake that I see, and this is related to the first mistake, is that people try to create coaching programs when they have not created a signature coaching program that serves as the foundation of their business. Meaning, before you create anything else, you need at least one signature coaching program that is going to serve as the main engine, the main revenue engine for your business. Again, all of this is important because it connects with what you teach, right? Most people, they're like, but Courtney, I just wanna know what I teach my clients and how much I should charge and all that. I'm telling you, stick with me here. I'm like literally giving you the roadmap, right? You need to know where it fits in your business. And if you don't have a signature coaching program that is the core economic engine in your business, that's the first type of signature coaching program that you need to create, because you're not going to be helping anybody if you have a business that doesn't stay in business. You can't keep the lights on because you can't create consistent revenue. And I have a bunch of videos talking about that, reoccurring revenues. I have other videos planned later on that I'll be recording, sharing more about that. But the basis of having reoccurring revenue is having a strong core signature coaching program that serves as that main income generator in your business. So do not pass go. Do not collect $200 until you've created a signature coaching program that is going to be the main sales driver in your business. If you don't have that yet, then understand that that's the first type of signature coaching program you should be creating. Don't create any other signature coaching program unless it's one that is going to drive sales to your business. All right, so once you know where the signature coaching program is fitting, and if you don't have one that at least sits in the center of your business and is going to be the main economic engine, the next mistake that I see with creating your signature coaching program is people don't create a signature coaching program that has a high enough value. And so I talk about this in my video, all about the systems that you need in place in order to hit 7 figures. In fact, I tell a story about a client of mine that came with me to South Africa, and we were kind of sharing, and I was explaining this to her. I held a retreat in South Africa recently, which was really amazing, but you need a high value signature coaching program in your business. Yes, let alone to create 7 figures, but really if you want to create 6 or even multi 6 figures. And I say this because so many coaches are still stuck in this $150 an hour coaching mindset or $150 session mindset, not realizing, do you know how many sessions you would need to sell on a monthly, on a weekly, on a daily basis just to make $10,000 a month in your business, let alone more than that? And I always use $10,000 a month as kind of like the minimum in your business, because you forget it's not just what do you need to live, it's what do you need to pay taxes, what do you need to also have marketing to attract more clients, what do you need to be able to afford maybe an assistant or a virtual assistant or two. So you need a bit more money than what you just personally need to pay your bills. And I find for most people, if they have a minimum of 10K, they usually can cover small business expenses and have enough left over to at least initially live on as they grow their business. And so if you're focusing on your first signature coaching program, you've heeded my instructions in the previous steps, and you're like, okay, Courtney, I'm working on a signature program that is gonna be that core income generator in my business. You wanna start high, not low, right? So you want to identify what is a high value offer you can create for your ideal clients. That way you can charge more for it. Too many online coaches, too many women especially, go in thinking about the lowest value thing because they think it's easier to sell. They're like, what's the cheapest thing I can create? And then maybe, people will buy it, not recognizing that your premium client is actually turned off by super low pricing, and they're gonna walk past you. It's actually easier to sell higher price items than it is lower price items. I know you probably don't believe that. Again, I invite you to join my Nail Your Niche challenge where we go over this in depth. Again, that is a free 5-day challenge where we really rework your mindset on this and actually help you create and think about an offer that you can come up with that can command a higher price. But you want to say, okay, for my signature coaching program, what's a high value signature coaching program I can create? Do not make the mistake of initially coming up with a lower value or lower ticket. In fact, I always say, lower ticket is for people who have already generated high revenue, right? If I want to come out with a low ticket thing, I can do that because I'm already doing 7 figures in my business. I already have a large audience. I have the team, the infrastructure, the scale in order to be able to do a lower ticket item and to make that work. But for most people, when they're getting started, they don't have the bandwidth, they don't have the support. Like, you cannot afford to be charging low tickets. So when you're creating your first signature coaching program and you're creating a signature coaching program that's going to serve as that core in your business, make sure that it is a high value one. And then from there, once that's generating, then you can work your way down. All right, I have more where that came from, but first I want to hear from you. What's your signature coaching program? Share in the comments below. Okay, the next mistake that I see with your signature coaching program, and we talked about people not knowing the positioning, people not having at least one core signature coaching program, and then people not creating it so that it's high value. Another mistake that I see is people not structuring it correctly. And when I say structuring it correctly, I mean structuring it in one of 2 ways. The first way that it needs to be structured correctly is that it needs to be structured in order to help someone get the highest ROI the fastest, right? Oftentimes people, when they create their signature coaching programs, they feel kind of insecure about them, especially if they're like, oh, I'm trying to take your advice, Courtney, and I'm gonna raise my price. They feel like guilty that they're charging more for it. And so they try to stuff as much in it as possible and share all this extraneous information, not realizing that that actually prevents the client from getting the result, right? The client doesn't want to be educated so much as they want to be guided on how to get the result. And so you have to make the determination, am I teaching things that my client absolutely needs to know? Because if you're teaching extra stuff that doesn't really matter, you'll find that it actually turns off your client because your client is busy. Your client is trying to get to the result as soon as possible. In fact, I think about this myself. I was looking to up my investment game. I've taught myself how to invest in the stock market, and there was like new things that I was trying to learn. And so I ended up joining a program, and I was very frustrated because while it was a wealth of information, it was like a fire hose of information, none of it was clear about like what exactly was gonna help me get the result that I was looking for, which was, increasing my returns in the stock market. It was just kind of like general stock market know-how. And I found myself, kind of abandoning the program halfway through, even though I had spent money on it, because I was like, this is a waste of my time. This is not being very specific and detailing like the steps that I need to go through and the roadmap and the process to ultimately get my result. And so I tell you this because, again, it's a big mistake that I see. A lot of people, again, because they are insecure about their signature coaching program, they feel guilty or like insecure about the price, they end up just kind of like brain dumping a bunch of stuff in it, hoping that that increases the value and quote unquote makes it worth it, not realizing that what makes it worth it is the ROI that your client needs to get. So you actually need to be structuring your program not to be a fire hose of information, but to get them the ROI that they are looking for as fast as possible. Now, the second way that I see that this is not structured properly, and this kind of goes along with that, is that it's not really structured according to adult learning principles. And this was something that I had to come to terms with. So last year, I actually invested a lot of money in working with an instructional design team to help me take my program, the Next Big Name Bootcamp, and structure it in a way where people could really understand and get the results, right? So adult learners are a lot different than how children learn. Again, you have to kind of explain things up front. People need to know where they're going before you take them down that road. And there's a whole science behind adult learning. And so I find that a lot of people, when they are creating their coaching programs, they don't have the learning environment in mind. All they have is like the information. Okay, this is what I want to teach you, but understand like what is the motivation that the person is coming with? What's the mindset that the person is taking your program with? Are you addressing the mindset as much as you are teaching the methodology? Because the methodology, they might not be able to get the results if you don't also teach them the mindset that they need to have in order to be able to execute on that methodology. And so for me, I found that hiring an instructional design team was very helpful. You don't necessarily need to do that, but as you are creating your coaching program, you want to think these things in mind, right? Like, don't just say, oh, what is it that I need to teach them? But think about, where is the person coming from? What are gonna be their hangups? What's some mindset issues? And are you working that into your content and your framework as much as you are working in actually teaching them what they need to know? All right, the next mistake that I see a lot when it comes to creating a signature coaching program is that people spend all this time on creating the signature coaching program, but not enough time on the system that's actually going to sell it. So what good is it to have a beautiful signature coaching program that is amazing and can get amazing results for people, but no one has the opportunity to go through it because no one's ever heard about it? You have no marketing, you're not able to sell it. Again, the sales systems are just as important as the signature coaching program. And in fact, I actually have a video where I talk about this idea of like, I don't wanna be good at marketing, I don't wanna focus on sales, I just wanna coach. If you've ever said that to yourself, you should definitely check out that video. Maybe click the link in the description. We'll have it somewhere, maybe on the screen, somewhere for you to check that out. But that's a mindset, a hang up that you need to get off of, honestly, because your ability to sell it is just as important as your ability to coach the client through it, because if you can't sell it, the client is never gonna get the result, right? The client only gets the result if they join the program, and they only join the program as good as your ability to let them know about it and ultimately to show the value of it so that they want to say yes. So that's a huge mistake that I see. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. Hopefully this was very eye-opening for you. Again, if you're kind of struggling with these concepts, and especially how to think about ROI, how to come up with something that is at a price point that is gonna, allow you to grow your business and command those premium prices, I highly, highly recommend that you join me for my free 5-day live Nail Your Niche Challenge, where we talk about this and more, help you nail your niche. Even if you think you already know what your niche is, trust me, people join this challenge and they're like, this changed my life, right? So you should definitely click the link below, sign up while it's still free. This is kind of an experiment that I'm doing. I don't know how long I will do this or if I'll even do it in the future. So if you click the link below and see that the next challenge is available, make sure you sign up ASAP. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. If you loved it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you can't wait for my next video, make sure you are subscribed to my podcast, The Courtney Sanders Show, on both iTunes and Spotify. And if you can't wait for my next podcast episode or my next YouTube video, make sure you're following me on Instagram. It's CourtneyLSanders on Instagram. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.